Oscar Mayer is the all-American meat company that put a hot dog on wheels. They also had memorable jingles that reminded you to eat countless hot dogs and bologna from those yellow packages. There really was an Oscar Mayer, too. Oscar Mayer was born in Bavaria and immigrated to the U.S. when he was only 14. After apprenticing with a butcher in Detroit and spending another 6 years in Chicago working in a meatpacking plant, he saved enough money to lease a failing meat market in Chicago. It was at that time when his brother Gottfried joined him. The first Oscar Mayer shop was born. On opening day, sales totaled $59. Pork cuts were 8 to 12 cents a pound and were the money makers of this time. The brothers proceeded to make a fortune selling sausages, bacon, and lard. Over the next couple years, they were hugely successful. This was due partly because they had brought traditional European techniques to America. Since Chicago had a growing population of German-American families, their sausages were a little taste of home. They also distinguished themselves by delivering all over the city and suburbs in horse-drawn wagons. By the beginning of the 20th century, Oscar Mayer had 43 employees, 8 delivery wagons, and supplied nearly 300 stores in Illinois and Wisconsin. They were also one of the first to brand their products because they wanted customers to ask for them by name. So the brothers incorporated the brand Edelweiss, named for the high-altitude flour found in the Alps. The title lasted for 13 years before it became Oscar Mayer Approved Meat Products. Shortly after the publication of Upton Sinclair's The Jungle in 1906, the U.S. government implemented the Federal Meat Inspection Act. Many meat companies fought the legislation and even denied inspectors access to their facilities. However, Oscar Mayer became an early supporter of the bill, claiming it had nothing to hide. In 1919, Mayer purchased a meatpacking plant in Madison, Wisconsin, which then became the central headquarters for the company. Oscar Mayer was ahead of the game when it came to branding and marketing. To further distinguish its name with quality, the company began wrapping its hot dogs in distinctive yellow bands. It was the first ever branded meat available, and is a practice that became such an integral part of the brand, it still lives on today. By 1924, Oscar Mayer introduced the first pre-sliced bacon. Customers were now able to buy it in convenient packages. The invention was such a big deal, they got a U.S. patent for it. During the height of the Great Depression, Oscar Mayer introduced the first ever Wienermobile. Oscar's nephew Carl came up with the idea. It was driven by little Oscar and participated in parades and grocery store openings. The very first little Oscar was named Meinhard Rabe, and he would also go on to star as a Munchkin in The Wizard of Oz. He played the coroner. The original Wienermobile was just 13 feet long. Today, there are a few Wienermobiles crisscrossing the country, each measuring 23 feet long, and equipped with GPS, cushy red and yellow seats, microwave ovens, and an audio system that blasts the Wiener jingle in 21 different musical styles. The drivers are now called hot doggers and go through an extensive application process to become hired. In 1963, the Oscar Mayer Wiener jingle made its debut. Written and composed by Richard Trentledge, the song became such a hit that people even called into radio stations to request it. It went on to be one of the longest-running jingles ever, and was only retired in 2010. This advertising tune was first recorded in the songwriter's home studio, sung by his 11-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter. In 1967, Oscar Mayer came up with another kid-centered concept, this time to sell bologna. The idea was to film several children separately as they ran around and played outdoors while singing the jingle. After a day of filming, the director went to the kids and asked if there was anyone who could sing the whole commercial from beginning to end without making a mistake. A curly-haired little boy named Andy Lambros did. They filmed him sitting on a pier fishing while he ate his sandwich. That final last-minute take became one of the most popular commercials of all time. Oscar Mayer struggled through the 1980s as people began to grow tired of processed meat. It was the introduction of Lunchables in 1988 that helped the company regain its former glory. The product featured the same bologna Oscar Mayer had been selling for years, packaged along with crackers and cheese, and became a way for kids to create their own meal. In its first year, Lunchables brought in $317 million and currently brings in an estimated $1 billion annually. Oscar Mayer remained a family-run business until 1981, when it was sold to General Foods Corporation. Philip Morris acquired General Foods soon after, and then in 1989 placed Oscar Mayer under its newly acquired Kraft food brand. Kraft eventually merged with Heinz, and to consolidate its holdings, Kraft Heinz announced it would move Oscar Mayer's headquarters from Madison, Wisconsin, back to Chicago. To this day, Oscar Mayer remains a leader in manufacturing lunch meats, hot dogs, bacon, and sausage. Over the years, they have become a staple in kitchens across the globe. So what are some of your memories of Oscar Mayer, the Wienermobile, or even some of those catchy jingles?